Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So, just like the other altcoin extravaganza videos, everything will be listed in the description of the video, timestamps, don't be afraid to click around. I'm going to lose most of you by the end of this. Like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, retweet this, post it on Telegram. This is going to be a big video, a long video, tons and tons of stuff. First things first, Bitcoin. I know it's not an altcoin, but I expect the relationship between Bitcoin and altcoin to be inverse. So should Bitcoin go up, I expect alts to bleed like a stuck pig, especially if we go for new all-time highs on USD. Now, there's a currently active inverted head and shoulders here that has yet to play out. We're just kind of sideways, slowly dumping on no volume. So all of this information might become useless if we pump up on Bitcoin hard again and we're trending. But right now, as Bitcoin sits sideways or slowly grinding down, that gives alts a big chance for bigger moves. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with my bags and then sort of go by market cap on coinmarketcap.com. I'm going to let you know if it's a doubled cloud or singled cloud. Doubled cloud is 20, 60, 120, 30. Singled is half that, so 10, 30, 60, 30. Each has its own merits depending on how you want your signals to look, how early you want to get in a trade. I've tried to format every chart so that I could quickly just say a few things so that this video isn't 45 minutes long. I've labeled any targets that I deem appropriate based on the cloud. Generally, those are just ledges or flat Kumos of the cloud, and any ledge on the cloud or flat Kumo is just some fib where prices sort of stayed in between for X amount of time, enough to draw a line there, okay? So this fib here is a 50% fib of this move from the high. You can see it sort of grinded here for a little while, long enough to draw this out. In the description on the video, I'll mention if it's in a historic low or not. I may forget to say that as I'm going through these. You'll also see some people's targets from the What's in Your Bags videos. So if you see that, it's just someone else's target from that I like to just keep on the chart, just to keep in mind. If this is the first time you're seeing any one of my videos and you don't know what cloud is, I'll link up some explanation of the cloud at the end of the video, but you're welcome to check my channel out further for more explanations. Okay, so not something I own. Clearly no bullish signs based on cloud. On doubled, however, it's definitely historic lows. It's grinding up slowly. It's really trolling the bottom. I like these targets here based on flat Kumo. If we go to singled cloud, you can see anytime you get this thinning of the cloud like this just says that price has slowly gone from high to sort of sideways, and it's trying to find a bottom. So your entry would be Kumo breakout, Kumo twist, bullish, and the targets remain the same. Now you'll see I left the targets from the 2x cloud on the single X cloud. I think the 2x targets are more appropriate than the single X just because it takes into account more data. So how you want to see that or whatever yourself is up to you. And then on 4 hour you can see we have the earliest of the early signal for Kumo breakout with Kumo twist. So this is what you want to see on the daily as far as a really great entry signal. You also have lagging span above cloud, above price. Dogecoin weekly, no cloud needed here. Buy zone, sell zone, don't overthink it. ABC trade right there. See a coin. This is the first of the edge-to-edge trades. You'll see there are many coins where you'll see an edge-to-edge trade. The edge-to-edge trade is entry when candle closes in the cloud, and exit is anywhere on the opposite edge of the cloud with a stop at the Kijun, which is this red line. So I'm not going to say that over and over. I'm just going to say edge to edge. I'll also have some special notes on a few of these. So this one, flat Kumo, active edge to edge. Okay. I own SIA. I expect it to go higher, at least double, 76, 80, somewhere in there. Any of these zones are sort of pit stops. So it's doubled. Here's singled. You can see the first signs of a Kumo breakout. Again, Kumo twist with price above cloud, bullish TK, and I like 80, 100, that range. I'm also saying this might be a bull flag, just drawing out their chart pattern. CURE.Coin, doubled cloud. Again, I have some of the singled cloud targets on some of the charts. Sometimes I don't. Another active edge-to-edge trade. This one's got huge upside because this is the 50% fib of this move here. Definitely expect pit stops around 85 and 94. Here is singled. And again, you can see we're getting very, very close to a Kumo breakout with the Kumo twist, just like we are on SIA coin. Okay, so those are my bags. So now let's go through everything else, shall we? Ethereum doubled. You can see we still have the Adam Eve that has not completed yet. But we do have an active edge-to-edge trade. Here are some of the targets. You'd expect 17, 0.17 to be hit just based on the Adam Eve. It still looks good for up even though it's sideways. Singled, you can see we're getting close to the Kumo breakout. So whenever you have an edge to edge on doubled and not a Kumo breakout on singled, the better entry is likely waiting for the Kumo breakout on singled cloud, because we already know it's in the cloud on doubled, right? So just go to singled cloud, wait for the entry. You know it's ready to flip bullish. There's always a possibility anytime this happens that it drops below on the Kumo twist or somewhere near the Kumo twist. So definitely you want like all hands on deck when we're hovering over that area so we can mine the gap with your trade or not, depending on how your stops are set up. So you can see this is getting very close, and your long entry signal would be the Kumo breakout, like I said, where price is up here, and the target would be 15 to 18. And then on 4 hour, it's kind of a conflicting view where we have sideways grinding down. If we get a Kumo breakout to the downside, it's set up to definitely go down much further, you know, somewhere in this range here. So there's probably a better entry as far as the edge trade is concerned, and I'd definitely wait for the Kumo breakout on daily. Ripple, historic low, it's in a buy zone. Cloud doesn't look great on the cloud. There's actually a bullish TK, that's wrong. So bullish TK cross, everything else is bearish, and there's definitely resistance in this zone here. This being like the holy grail target all the way up here, just because it's a 50% fib of that high to low. Litecoin, not much looks more bearish than Litecoin, I gotta say. Rock looks heavy. There are plenty of targets just because it doesn't move ever and it just stays sideways most of the time. It just grinds down, 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 down. It's definitely at historic lows. I would not want to touch this until it shows any signs of life whatsoever, and now is not one of those times. Monero doubled. Monero has a nice pitchfork going for it. It's also bounced on the median line 7 or 8 times now. I would wait until you get a Kumo breakout. Here, that would be your long entry signal, definitely. The cloud's already bullish. And again, you may drop down through the Kumo twist, so when we break out, that's very much a possibility. So keep that in mind. I'd say the probability of that is low, just based on the amount of touches on this median line here, but certainly an option to look out for. Then if we go to singled Monero, you can see we have a bearish TK above the cloud, still above the median line of that pitchfork, which is great. So for me, my long entry signal would be the TK recross. Anytime you get a cross, a bearish cross and a bullish recross above the cloud, that is the strongest entry signal you can get on the cloud system. So anytime you get a cross recross that matches either bullish or bearish momentum, that says go long baby, go short baby. Monero USD Tether, I don't know what Tether is despite looking it up several times and trying to understand. Interestingly, Monero and DASHUSDT Tether are both in a cup and handle right now. They must be linked somehow, I don't really know. You can see that there's a volume consolidation in both the cup and the handle. Your target's just a measured move from the top of the cup to the bottom of the cup, up from the breakout of this horizontal here. So 34, something like that. Anywhere between 27 and 34 is definitely resistance just based on the fib extension. ETC, doubled cloud. This is on daily. Looks like a bull flag more than anything. Cloud's sort of mixed bag. Edge to edge is kind of there, but not really. It just looks like it's range bound right now. So if we go down to singled cloud, you can see it's definitely broken out. Your long entry signal again would be the TK recross, bullish above the cloud. It's always a good entry. Dash, doubled cloud. Dash is nice because it's got all the bull signs except the bullish Kumo. And it's definitely a little bit overbought just based on the TK disequilibrium here. So I'll comment on that on a few of these charts. You can see it's just had this banger 2 weeks. I think the upside right now is a little limited because this is a 50% fib of this previous move. So it'd probably either bounce down from here or just consolidate in here for a little while. I wouldn't want to be long until some sort of pullback happens and Kijun sort of comes up to price. And on singled cloud, here I mentioned overbought based on TK disequilibrium. So this just says probability of going higher is less than probability of retracing, and to the Kijun here, which is this line. So bids here are safe. Everything looks super bullish though on that cloud setting. DASHUSDT Tether, like I said, it's got a cup and handle, just like XMR. We did have a TK cross recross, so this is your entry signal paired with the horizontal of the cup. So if you're trading both cloud and chart pattern there, you'd want to wait until we break the horizontal of the cup on volume. I don't have volume on here, but you can look at it. And then the target's just, again, the measured move. So anywhere between 20 and 21 is the target. And I don't really know what Tether is, so if someone wants to let me know, that'd be great. NEM, XEM, I don't really know what this one is. Sort of an active edge-to-edge trade. Here are the targets. Most of these alts look like this. There's this massive downtrend, and now they're starting to enter the cloud. And the question is, what do you want to do? The cloud is telling you there's a good chance for up, definitely on doubled. If you go to singled, you can see we almost have the Kumo breakout, just like we do on many of the other charts. So here I said yes, I think it is technically a breakout. So all the signs are bullish. This is what you want to see as far as the earliest signal to go long. So it may just sort of hover at the cloud, pull back a little bit, and then shoot from there. So obviously it's completely up to you. But you can see how it was bearish this whole time, and boom. here's now its chance to find its glory. Your targets being 1539 and 844, just based on the 2x cloud settings. And something else to mention, I was talking about cross recross. So here you get a bullish cross below the cloud, that's a close your short signal. Here's a bearish cross below the cloud, that's a re-short signal because it's below the cloud. So you can't short most of these alts, I don't think. At the very least, it tells you not to be long again. So you can see here's the re-short signal, and it stays that way until here. And here's another re-short signal, it stays that way until right about here. And now it's finally breaking out of the cloud. So that makes sense. Again, huge potential for upside, nice upside, but really depends on Bitcoin, I think. STEEM doubled daily. Nice flat Kijun here. This just says price has sat in this zone range bound for a long time, and it's looking to retrace up to the 50%. And here's another zone that it's looking to go for, 650, just based on Kijun and this sort of range bound not making lower lows. So your first target would be here, and then your next targets would be the other edge of the cloud, should it close in the cloud. On singled, you can see the cloud says nothing is bullish, but based on the range, it's just sat here for so long that I think there's a nice probability of 295 and 655 on singled. But we'll see, especially if it gets denied at the edge-to-edge trade here. So it's at historic lows. It's probably worth holding, buying and holding for now, for a little while. Factum, pretty much range bound, sort of a mixed bag on signals. You can see the edge-to-edge sort of happened here. I think this horizontal's more important and supersedes anything on the cloud. So again, once you get a bullish Kumo with a Kumo breakout and you're above this horizontal, I think that's really the long signal, long entry signal more than anything. And then here's singled cloud. You can see all the bullish entry signals are there, but the upside's probably limited just based on this horizontal resistance. So breaking that horizontal resistance would be huge. So you can either long now to that horizontal resistance or wait to long until we break the horizontal resistance, or just stay out until, you know, we're definitely above that horizontal resistance. Zcash doubled. This is kind of another one that doesn't look like there's much hope in sight right now. It's at historic lows, but it keeps making lower lows. This looks like a potential capitulation wick, which is just sort of emotion and people saying enough's enough. I'm just going to get rid of all this trash. So there are plenty of upside targets just based on, again, staying sideways or retracing in certain zones. But according to the cloud, there's really no redeeming qualities. There's plenty of flat Kumos, so those are where all the targets come from. So we'll see. Here's LISK doubled. Again, nothing really bullish about this. Some flat Kumo action, but overall doesn't excite me. Here's LISK singled. You can see it's starting to get into the cloud. The cloud is starting to get bullish. So I definitely wait until the Kumo breakout and the bullish Kumo to even think about going long. And I think the upside's limited anyway, just based on the range of this zone here. So, you know, 17 to 48.50, that's probably a decent trade, but I would wait until there's a Kumo breakout with bullish Kumo. Game credits. Now this is one of the few where the cloud was useless and the pitchfork was almost useless. So I just ended up putting some fibs on here. The fibs actually look pretty good. So the next target would be this zone here. I really don't have much to say about it other than it's been around for a while. And you could always buy here, sell here. It hasn't hit this zone since hitting it over here, so it's really hard to say. You know, you can always redraw this pitchfork and make this and this the base, and that might be a little better. But overall, doesn't excite me. I would stay away from game credits just based on the TA here. Stratus is another one. Cloud didn't really do any justice. This is on the hourly. Pitchfork fits nicely. You can see it keeps making higher highs out of the pitchfork, so it's hard to say what's relevant here and what matters, but overall, again, looks like to stay out. It's at the top of the range. To say it's going to go much higher, the probability is less than pulling back, at least to the median line or even lower here. Here's BitShares on doubled cloud. You can see there's a nice pitchfork fitting this, showing the downtrend is still in full effect, and these would be the cloud targets, but I wouldn't really plan on longing this based on the pitchfork until it breaks cleanly that diagonal line. So no hope in sight really for BitShares at the moment. And here's singled. You can see it's sort of getting there. Again, you get this downtrend, flattening, and then an opportunity for Kumo breakout. So it's got some days left, probably 2 or 3 weeks before BitShares is really worth looking at again. Shadowcoin, kind of weird. It's definitely got edge-to-edge potential, flat Kumo potential on doubled, but just kind of sideways range mode. And if you look on singled, again, you're close to a Kumo breakout. You got sort of bull flag. So your target would be, you know, that flat Kumo level, 002, again, should it pop up. And then if it stays up there, these horizontals are your next levels. XCP, now these are the kind of edge-to-edge trades I like to take because the thickness of the cloud is huge. So if we break one end, we should hit the other. That's what an edge-to-edge trade's all about. However, when you see a wick like this doesn't scream to me that I should be going long. It's just like the Bitcoin wicks, okay? We're probably going to see an extended consolidation from here. There's definitely a higher probability of that than keeps going, I think. So yes, there's an active edge-to-edge trade, but it's probably not worth going in right now until after sort of we see some signs of consolidation ending. I don't have volume on here, but volume would be one way to see that. And you can see it kind of hit the other edge of this 497, 500 level, kind of wicked up there. So interesting. And then here's singled. Yes, it's a Kumo breakout, but again, it's probably going to just consolidate for a little while before it goes up higher, and these would be the next targets. So 6.5, something like that. Bit crystals, same deal. Edge-to-edge trade is there, had a large pullback, probably due for some consolidation now in the cloud, sort of test Kijun support. So whether or not you want to long, that's up to you. So yet again, yes, it's a Kumo breakout, but is it going to keep going? I don't really know. These would be the targets over here, you know, these ledges. So definitely this 46, 48, something like that. It's a really nice target after the consolidation finishes. But you can see this is the beginning of the Kumo twist. So just buying manually right now isn't bad based on cloud signals, but just based on the way that candle looks, it just looks like consolidation's coming from here. Decred's kind of the same story. And this is one of the few, however, that's bullish on doubled cloud. It broke through all the signals on doubled cloud, which is pretty huge. That's saying that it's consolidated for a long time. It's quickly gone through resistance. So just like the last two, you know, it's way, way overbought, I think, even though all the signals are bullish. So you probably want to wait for a pullback. This is how it looks on singled cloud. And you can see here I'm saying best entry is long since passed. Your best entry, once you get a Kumo breakout, you always want to sort of re-enter at Kijun and cloud support. You can see how beautifully that just taps that several times, 5 or 6 times here before taking off again. And it kind of waited for the cloud to turn bullish as well. So that's what you want to look for on the singled settings. If you can get it on doubled, that's great. But for most of these alts, still move much quicker than a doubled cloud. It can sort of keep up with them. I like the doubled cloud because it gives me the targets better than like the entries, but if you're looking to enter based on edge-to-edge trades like this, then doubled is for you. I just like it because it shows me the entry and the exit. I don't have to like think about it. I don't have to look back. It's just on top of the price already. So you can see for EMC, doubled cloud, plenty of targets, plenty of upside just based on flat Kumos, currently active edge-to-edge. And then if we go to the singled cloud, again, same thing, downtrend, 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 flat, sideways. Now we have opportunity for upside with Kumo breakout and Kumo twist. So look for EMC. That's a nice one, I think, to pick up. Bitcoin Dark. I had to ask people on Twitter because I had no clue what Bitcoin Dark was. I've heard of it. It's been around since 2014, but I don't really know who uses it or trades it. Apparently it's merging with something else. I don't know. So there could be fundamental reasons that I'm just not abreast of why this is pumping so hard. But it certainly sat sideways for a really long time. And it entered the weekly cloud, which is huge. The Bitcoin also entered the weekly cloud back in 2015 for the huge uptrend. So this is one of the bigger edge-to-edges that you'll see. And the reason this isn't drawn is because there just wasn't enough data. But you can see this is where the cloud would stop. You can also see that there's bullish Kumo coming. So if there's ever not enough data, you can just half the settings. And we're getting a Kumo breakout on weekly, which is huge. This is like one of the few coins where that's happening. Again, that may be fundamental reasons, but the technicals are sort of there because it's just sort of ranged, waiting for everything to turn green. So this would be one of those manual entry situations. The target would be 0.12, which is probably a 2x from here. Yeah. Peercoin doesn't really look like much hope in sight. It's trying to bottom. It definitely looks better than Litecoin and Namecoin, but not something I'd want to pick up. There's just, you know, you can see it. You can see the blood. You can see the death and destruction. Okay. And then on single, again, it looks like it's trying to start something. So I'd wait going long until the Kumo breakout is at least there. Cloud's already ready, but I'm saying here the long entry signals on Kumo breakout. NXT singled. I actually really like NXT. I might pick up some after the video just because this TK disequilibrium on weekly is so large. So whenever you get this just says it's really oversold. And it's also below historic lows. And there's also a flat Kumo at 348. So I think there's plenty of upside potential just based on being oversold. Kind of an automatic rally back up. And the probability is that it'll retrace a little bit before it'll keep going down. So again, that's another reason to pick it up. So it's doubled or singled weekly. Here's doubled daily. And you can see it's attempting to enter the cloud. This kind of looks like Nautilus, where it's just like sideways, slow grind down, sideways, and then sort of flirting with the cloud resistance here. These would be your immediate targets, and then this 348, like I said, on the weekly would be your higher target. And then on singled, again, you can see it's getting even closer to a Kumo breakout with the clouds starting to turn bullish. And maybe in a few days here, so long as it stays sideways even. So the best entry is probably waiting until NXT is bullish on the daily with the Kumo breakout, like I said on a few of these coins. IOC, no cloud could really figure out what was going on here. This is mainly just fibs. It's ranging between these two fibs. I'd stay out of it. Doesn't really look like anything's going on. Don't really know anything about that coin. Ruby coin, also kind of ranging. It's already pointing bullish, leaning bullish. So that's a manual entry potentially, or just staying out. It doesn't look too exciting to me. The cloud isn't really even viable just because it's ranging. Whenever you have a ranging market, cloud kind of breaks down a little bit because the signals are kind of too slow for everything. Pascal coin, this has been interesting. It's got added to Poloniex obviously, and it's been going nuts. So this is a 30-minute. This is the lowest time frame of any alt that I'm seeing any sort of signal on. So it's really nice because you pitchfork this out. I think I posted this on Twitter yesterday. So, I'm always saying buy here, sell here, and you just keep buying here until it breaks down from the pitchfork. So this was your exit signal because it broke down. So if you were long at all here, which you should have been just buying, you just stop out or get rid of it, everything when that happens. Then if we pop on cloud, current to current position here, there's a potential active edge to edge trade and a bull flag with a nice 112 target. So I know that'll excite a few people who are probably holding some bags or went long again based on the euphoric nonsense of adding coins to an exchange. Here's the single. Again, you have the Kumo breakout with the bull flag with the bullish Kumo. So plenty of reasons to go long here and with 112 target. Potcoin doubled cloud. Again, edge-to-edge trade potentially with plenty of upside. This will probably pump once we get closer to 420 for obvious reasons. But the edge-to-edge trade's already there and waiting for you. And then on the singled, again, you have the Kumo breakout, but it is kind of ranging. Kumo breakout with bullish Kumo, so that's sort of the signal I look for. Again, if you're not sure about the edge-to-edge trade on the doubled, go to singled and look for the Kumo breakout. That sort of gives you confidence for entry. Here is Nexium, 60-minute doubled. This one is kind of hard to chart because it's kind of ranging, kind of low volume it seems, just based on the way the candles look. I don't have volume on here. I'm saying flat Kumo, just it's the 50% fib, so 780, 804, something like that. It is a bit oversold based on the TK disequilibrium, so it wants to continue moving up. I would just stay out of it. Here's singled. Again, same sort of thing. You got the bullish Kumo twist, so that says you should be out of a short, even though you can't short altcoins for the most part. But this would be your upside. 800, I think, pretty easily, but nothing I want to be in. Namecoin, like I said, this is the most bullish, yeah, the most over bullish, the most bearish chart that I've seen. No hope in sight. Kind of like Zeke, just making lower lows. Sadness. It's trying to go sideways here to bottom out, but definitely got days or weeks before this figures out what it's doing. The grid coin I like. It's got an active edge-to-edge trade, sort of. You probably want to wait at this point until the Kumo breakout and bullish Kumo occurs. And you got plenty of upside targets here based on 50% fib, flat Kumo. And like I said, if you're not sure on the doubled settings, go to singled and you'll see there's a Kumo breakout here. So this is your long entry signal as earliest as it can be. So it's definitely upside, I think immediately 237, maybe even 1K. Whatever this is, you can see it sort of just stood sideways here for a while. So that would be the first resistance, second resistance, third resistance, fourth resistance, fifth resistance. So it's just 50% fibs and previous local highs. That's all you're looking for. Don't make it too complicated. Black coin, again, don't make it too complicated. Here's your previous local highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your upside target. Just like Gridcoin, it's starting to turn over in doubled cloud. Going to singled cloud, you can see you got the Kumo breakout, you got the bullish Kumo. So there's your long entry signal. No reason not to just open a trade based on that. The immediate upside is probably limited to this support resistance horizontal, but once there's sort of consolidation or enough volume to break that, you'd expect a reach for the 1K or 736 zones. Navcoin, weekly. Never heard of this one. Really just looks like a giant bull flag. Stay out of it probably for 3 or 4 weeks. Come back and check it. I don't really see any potential upside immediately. It's just sort of ranging down into this flag formation. DigiByte looks good for a little up to 45 from 30 at the least. It's trying to find a bottom. Here you can see it's ranging. I think it's at historic lows at this point. Flat Kumo is your magnet, and then your next target would be 113. So, one way to strategy to trade this sort of thing is to open a trade now, sell half or 80% at this zone, and then just let the runner keep going to 100 or 113. That's just one example of how to trade that. CLAMs, I have nothing as far as TA is concerned other than it's at historic lows. On the daily, Again, it's ranging, so it's really hard to see where the targets and signals would be, but immediately 125 and 150, just based on 50% fibs and local highs. Here's Vertcoin on doubled cloud. Again, it looks like many of these other altcoins, sort of ranged at the bottom here. It's trying to pump. It's trying to have a Kumo breakout on doubled settings with the bullish Kumo twist. These would be your immediate targets, 122, 183. You go to Radium, doubled, same story, trying to pump. Cloud isn't yet close to bullish, but these would be your targets based on a flat Kumo. Kind of an edge-to-edge thing. You can see on single, the Kumo breakout is definitely there. So again, that's worth a long entry just based on that. Doubled burst, I actually like burst a lot because of the edge-to-edge. You can see this is the very beginning of breaking the cloud resistance here. So these are the edge to edges I like to take. You can see I'm talking about many edge to edge trades, but I like to take, the ones that have the largest cloud because they have the largest upside. So this is a triple. It's at 78. The target's 188, 187. So that's 2x, 3x, somewhere in there. The first target would be this 129 zone. This looks a lot more confusing than it is. It's really just ABC, 50% fibs and local highs. It's just the cloud is painting it based on dynamic resistance and support. So that's doubled, and here's singled. You can see very early signs of a Kumo breakout. So maybe ready in a few days here to go for sure long. So I'll be watching this one. I'm saying long entry signal on Kumo breakout. Made safe coin, pretty interesting. Drew this giant flag. Like a year-long flag, just ranging in this zone. It's broken out on the doubled cloud settings with really nice entry signals. So of all of the ones that I'm seeing, this is a nice manual entry or bids at the cloud, just based on the doubled settings. So it looks like this on the doubled settings. It's going to look like this on the singled settings, which is already bullish. All these signals are definitely already bullish. Here I'm saying bids on the Kijun, and it's sort of already hit that horizontal zone. So it'd probably go much higher from here. Your next targets would be these ledges and local highs. So 2K, whatever this is, 200, probably the next target for made safe. Vertcoin, again, strong downtrend, flattens out. All of a sudden you get a bullish TK, you get a cloud entry, and then you hit the other side of it. So this has probably got a few days on it before the entry looks even better. 468, 834, I like those zones, and then ultimately like 1200 or whatever this is up here. And again, if you go to singled, it gives you sort of a better signal entry, like a fine-tuning the telescope, okay? So what you're looking for is a bullish cloud twist with a Kumo breakout as far as a really convincing entry signal. Flow, I like flow a lot. Again, active edge to edge, so it looks just like burst. This is even probably a flag on the low time frame. So this is 2 to 3x potential. Target at 900 to 980 easily. It's going to be some resistance at previous support turn resistance, but upside is definitely there. Here's the singled. Again, you can see it's got the bullish Kumo. You're waiting on the Kumo breakout. So the long entry signal would be on the Kumo breakout here with some really nice upside targets. And lastly, BELA coin, which went literally from 0 for several months to whatever this is, SATs 2789. Kind of insane. I think I posted this either yesterday or the day before saying it was in the buy zone based on the pitchfork. So these pitchforks it's like the cloud signals. If you go long on every Kumo breakout, you're bound to hit better probabilities for long entries than you are just being stopped out. So you'll see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it's been in this zone and it's paid off every single time. So buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. That's what you want to look for as far as pitchfork sort of ABC technical analysis. That's all I have for today. Amazing video, I think. You tell me, you let me know. I want you to smash that like button or dislike button, share it up, hit me up on Twitter and Telegram. Let me know what you think. If I miss something, I can chart it as long as it's on TradingView. Otherwise, it's really hard for me to use Bittrex or whatever. So altcoiners, happy trading.